Yo, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about the Green Bay Packers, and I think they're flying under the radar. And just to clarify, I don't think that means they're underrated. I think that means people don't know what they are. And that's kind of fun for me because as a fan, I've kind of known what they were for a long time, and the unknown is pretty fun. So, as a bit of a roster breakdown, starting off with the offense, obviously Jordan Love is the big unknown. Nobody really knows what to expect from him. You've got some good reps, some bad ones, but in general, he was a good prospect who developed a while, so there is a fair amount of optimism around him. And then you move to the skill positions, which is really the weakness of this team. Tight end, they got two young guys who are good players, and I mean, on their depth chart, they're listed as tight end 1 and 2 already. I'm very hopeful about Luke Musgrave's ability to contribute year 1, and Tucker Kraft will see snaps. I don't know how big a role he'll have, though. Wide receiver is really my main concern. Christian Watson, I do believe, is a true X receiver, and it's gonna cement himself as one of the better receivers in the league this year, but Romeo Doubs and Jayden Reed, I'm not quite as confident in. Romeo Doubs, he's a 4th round pick. He did a fair amount his rookie year, and I do like what he can offer. He's not super fast, but he can run routes and he can get separation downfield. But in general, I'm not super confident in him as a number 2 receiver, but we'll see. Jayden Reed is our starting slot. He is a rookie, and you really never know with rookies. He's obviously very talented, and I do think he can have a solid role, but I'm not. If I had to bet, I would say he's going to be the wide receiver 3 this year in terms of production. But then you move to the O-line, and it gets a little better. Bakhtiari, Elgton Jenkins, certified All-Pros. Bakhtiari's finally healthy, so that left side is going to be great. Zach Tom, the young guy from last year, John Runyon, both very good players. I'm guessing that's going to be our right guard and right tackle. A lot of people have been saying Zach Tom could move to center, but I don't think he has the strength for it. I think he's better suited at tackle, especially with the athleticism he has. Josh Myers at center, we really need him to improve. He was disappointing last year. And then we've got Josh Nijman as well, as he's the depth tackle. In general, we could have Zach Tom move inside if there's an injury and put Josh out at tackle. And that is nice to have. So we have 6 probably starting caliber offensive linemen and 3 starting caliber tackles, which is really nice. So I am happy with that O-line. I was a little surprised they didn't take O-line in the draft, but I also didn't think they needed to. And then moving on to the defense. The D-line is just... I'm a big fan. Kenny Clark, Devontae Wyatt, Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary. That's great pass rush. And then you got Lucas Van Ness and Kingsley Enagbare. And, I mean, great depth. They drafted a lot of really solid young guys. Colby Wooden, Carl Brooks. They're athletes that play defensive tackle. Then you move on to the inside linebackers, which could be a determining factor in this team. Devondre Campbell, Quay Walker. Devondre Campbell was an All-Pro 2 years ago, and then last year he was solid, but he took a step back. If he can return to that All-Pro form, that would be huge. Quay Walker, I mean, he was improving throughout the year. Obviously, pushing training staff is not what you want to see out of a rookie, but hopefully he learns from that, and he was improving, so if he can continue to improve, he seems like a good player. And their depth is not that bad. Isaiah McDuffie's a solid player. Eric Wilson played a solid role last year. And then the secondary, which I really have no idea what to expect from. I love the corners, obviously. Jair, Rasul, and Keyshawn Nixon are the starters until Eric Stokes comes back. But the safeties are the big wild card. Darnell Savage, Rudy Ford. I mean, Rudy Ford was inconsistent last year. He had some really nice games, some really nice stretches, and then a bad game here and there to bring up concern. Darnell Savage has been inconsistent his whole career. They brought in Jonathan Owens, they brought in Tarvarius Moore, and they've got a bunch of special teamers as well as Anthony Johnson, who's a solid safety that they drafted. So hopefully of those 5 guys, we find 2 solid ones. But that is a big concern. But as a whole, the important thing to remember is this team is solid. I don't think people know that. Realistically, safety is a weak spot, but other than that, if the receivers develop the way Green Bay hopes they will, like, they could be a legitimate playoff threat. Like, if Jordan Love plays at about the level Rodgers played last year, maybe a little better, we could legitimately be seeing an NFC championship run with how weak the NFC is. I mean, I don't think they're going to find a way to beat the Eagles, but if they get the right matchups, the NFC is not that good. They could win the division. They could sneak in as a wild card. Or, they could win 3 games and take Caleb Williams. I have no idea. And that's the first time I've ever been able to say that about the Packers, and that's fun. So I'm excited to wait. I'm excited to see. Well, I'm not excited to wait, but that's okay. We'll wait. They've got a lot of pieces, and if they can put it together, I think a lot of that's going to depend on the coaches. Some really a poor year from all the coaches last year. It was Stanovich's first year, so I'll cut him some slack. Joe Barry has just been awful. I don't know why we hired him. I don't know why he's still coaching, but I'm hoping that he can learn how to be a coach. And Matt LaFleur, obviously, I mean, he was great. He kind of had a below average year, but hopefully he bounces back, especially with a new quarterback. And in general, I mean, special teams improves. Defense has a lot of pieces if Barry can be better. And the offense is young and developing. I don't think it's unrealistic to say that this is a playoff team. I don't think it's unrealistic to say they're going to win a playoff game. But I also don't think it's unrealistic to say they're going to have the first overall pick next year. So we will see. I'm excited. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.